Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. My name is Nazila binti Jamil Nasir. My student ID is 20,837. So today, me and my friends from Group 9, we are going to present on the tips to communicate effectively. So, why is it really important to learn on tips to communicate effectively is because it developed in order to succeed in your life. It is the foundations of any great and lasting connections, personal and professional. Many people feel that communication is about selecting the proper words and stating what the other persons want to hear, but in my opinion, there is so much more to it. Communication can take many forms, and knowing how to navigate them effectively can really help us to relate better to people and find more fulfillment in all aspects of our life.
So, the first point is to be an engaged listener. Clear communication starts with active listening. An effective communicator uses a variety of listening styles. They pay close attention to what's being said and make others feel heard and considered. Actually, people want to know that they are being heard. Hence, ask for clarification to avoid misunderstandings. At that moment, the person speaking to you should be the most important in your life. Another important point is to have one conversation at a time. This means that if you are speaking to someone on the phone, do not respond to an email or send text at the same time. The other person will know that she doesn't have your undivided attention. Most of the time, the real message can only be told by our gestures and facial expressions.
Now I'll be presenting the apply an emotional sandwich. So, what is emotional sandwich? Emotional sandwich are communication strategies that many think just now I'll be presenting the apply an emotional sandwich. So, what is emotional sandwich? Emotional sandwiches are communication strategies that many think just involve providing compliments, in dispute with critics. But however, it provides safety checks for ourselves too, which can greatly improve the quality of the feedback you're about to send. Emotional sandwiches apply to many communication. From my example, there are in text, audio only, or in person, the usual. So it is a great opportunity to empower and transform your professional relationship at work so there are no conflict and other stuff. So the question is, when can I use this method? You can use it when it comes to providing or reading criticism. We all can become tense at how the other person will react to the feedback. Constructive criticism shouldn't be frowned upon giving. However, it does require additional delicateness when composing a suitable way to provide such information. This is where the emotional sandwich comes into play. And now I'll be giving to the next presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Marisa and I will be presenting on the third point, which is wait for the other person to finish. We all know someone who likes to talk without listening, who seems to think that what they have to say is as fascinating to everyone else around them, who doesn't seem to understand that listening is an important part of communicating and connecting with others. The best communicators know that there is a kind of give and take between talking and listening. A sharing of who is speaker and who is listener based on mutual respect and caring about each other's feelings. Some people talk about themselves because they genuinely think they are more interesting than anyone else they know. But many people are overwhelmed by their own feelings and push them away. So you must listen to your speaking partner, give them signals that you are engaged, and speak with a clear message, and you will see the difference.
Assalamualaikum and greetings. My name is Abdul Rais bin Abdul Rashid, and the tips that I will be sharing today on how to communicate effectively is to control your emotions. Far too often, when we touch on a sensitive subject, we allow our emotion to lead us in a conversation. Sometimes we then forget the whole point of that conversation, leading to an unpleasant situation where we say things that we later regret. Strong feelings like love and stress can easily cloud our minds during conversations and make us no longer think rationally. In these situations, emotional management techniques can help us to return to a relaxed and rational state and enable us to engage with others without losing our cool. Controlling your emotions is not only a good practice for your professional well-being but also for your social life. If you can control your emotions, you can avoid making people upset with unpredictable emotional reactions. You don't have to hold back all of your feelings, but simply practicing these 5 techniques will help you to control your emotions. First is to stay calm. Next, practice using good communication. Then, learn to make constructive suggestions. Think before you speak or act. And lastly, write down your emotions.
Assalamualaikum and greetings. My name is Nazmi Hafid Jumaat. I will be explaining about establish and maintain eye contact. Making and maintaining eye contact is a vital component of effective communication. You may learn a lot about a person and their thoughts simply by looking at them and paying attention to what they do. It is also used to keep things in sync. People tend to look up at the end of their sentence to see what the other person thinks and to give their conversation partner a chance to take over. When people try to talk over each other, laugh or answer short questions, they often look at each other. For example, salespeople use eye contact in an effort to attract more attention. On the other hand, not making eye contact shows embarrassment. We look away to break the conversation or lack clarity in our thinking. When people talk, they look at each other 75% of the time, but only 40% of the time when they listen. One tries to get and keep their people's attention. People who are socially dominant, smart and outgoing look more interesting when they talk than other person who are socially awkward.
Right. Hello, my name is Muhammad Ahmad. I'll be talking another tips on how to communicate effectively. The suggested tip is to organize your communication. To have better understanding, I will include 3 top topics to focus on. They'll be organize your and clarify ideas in your mind, be crystal clear, and stay on topics. All right, first, organize and clarify ideas in your mind. This should be done before you attempt to communicate any ideas. If you are feeling passionate about a topic, your ideas may become garbled if you haven't already targeted some key points to stick to when communicating. Key points will act as anchors, bring focus and clarity your communication. A good rule of thumb is to keep your conversation focused on 3 primary points. If the issue strays, you may easily return to one of these 3 points. Second, be crystal clear. Start by stating your objective. Your goal may be to inform, acquire, or take action. Things will go more easily if individuals know what you anticipate from your communication. Alright, third, stay on topic. Once you start communicating your 3 main points, make sure everything you say enhances your message. If you have gone through the challenges and simplified them to the fundamentals, you may remember useful words. Use them to emphasize your points. Even confident, famous speakers repeat important sentences for emphasis. Keep your message straightforward.
Hello, I'm Ainin and I'm going to talk about reflections on how to be a better listener. So, the ability to express your own ideas effectively is only half of what it takes to be a good communicator. Listening is the second half. This doesn't mean simply hearing words. It means hearing, thinking, interpreting, and striving to understand. If you are thinking about the next thing you want to say, you aren't really listening. You are just hearing. So, reflection is a strategy that might help you become a better listener quicker. When reflecting, you will repeat back to yourself what someone has just said to you. Consider the following example in the next slide. Okay, so what do reflections actually do? They act as confirmation that you heard and understand what the other person has said. Reflections validate the person's feelings by showing that you get it. Here are some tips that you can use when applying reflections. Try using a tone of voice somewhere in between a question and a statement. Think of it as if you are restating what the other person said, but you are seeking confirmation. Second, don't just reflect the words. If you pick up on emotion in the person's voice or body language, include that in your reflection too. Third, if you are reflecting after the other person was speaking for a long time, don't feel like you have to restate everything. Just reflect the main point. Last but not least is focus on emotions as much as possible and you are good to go.
Okay, now I think that every one of you guys has already listened to our tips, right? So, in conclusion, as what Nunex said, the importance of effective communication lies at the heart of every healthy relationship. What I can say is that the appropriate to approach a communication is one can end up with a good connections while avoiding dispute and having a long-term position impact on the individuals with whom or he or she interact with. So yeah, I think that's all from our good. Thanks for listening.